morning, welcome to my channel. I'm Sam from Taylor Horse and Country. Glad to have you here. Today we're going to be talking about how to set life goals and the process that I go through and some of the thought processes as well. So I hope you find this interesting. Please do like and subscribe, leave a comment if you found this useful, and leave a comment if you would find anything like this useful as well. So today I intend on going through, as I said, my thought processes when I'm setting my goals. So each year I set new goals. It may be annual goals for you, it may be short-term goals for you, might be long-term goals for you. Sorry, I've just put hay out to the horses and realised it has scratched all my arms this morning and they're really itchy. Maybe it's the humidity here. So we still haven't had rain. It tried to rain so hard yesterday, so we got like 2 drops. But it's still quite muggy here. You can feel it wants to rain. And yeah, so I'm just out here having my morning coffee. It's 8 o'clock and I'm already got my jumper off. Which is usual for this time of year, but not usual for me. Anyway, I thought, I'd spend some time with you going through how I came up with my goals for the year, share my goals with you. And I've got like 6 kind of key points to go through with you. I have taken notes. Cool, that looked like a script. It's not a script. But I've taken notes just to remind me, because there's a lot of information there and I really enjoy. So my background is engineering, so data and numbers, so I like data, and I also like the detail as well, and so that means I do go into detail. I like to go into detail, but I want to make sure that I share the detail with you, because otherwise I'm giving you half the story, right? For anyone that hasn't been here before, I'm out in country South Australia. I have a professional job, so I work full-time in the city in Adelaide, and then I've got horses out on my property, and I compete in dressage, so amateur dressage rider. So for me, there's a number of components that go into setting my goals. And I hope you can follow along and use the same process that I do. And yeah, so I guess number one, like the first point or the first step is setting goals with intent. There's no point setting goals for the sake of setting goals. And there's no point in setting goals because that's what everyone else is doing. So if you're seeing it coming up on your YouTube feed about everyone setting goals and you go, oh geez, I should really follow the pack. If it's not something you enjoy doing, if it's not something for you, don't do it. If it doesn't work for you, if you try it and it doesn't work for you, don't do it. There's other ways and means. So go with your gut feel. Gut feel's the biggest thing. Set goals with intent. If you want to provide yourself goalposts to aim for whatever the period is that you're thinking about, and we'll get into that as well, is when you get into the actual setting the goals, is having SMART goals. Absolutely see whether this is useful. If you're unsure as to whether setting goals is for you or not, if there's a particular event, milestone that you're aiming for, and you want to learn a bit more about how you can work towards that, then absolutely. If not, don't be the pack. What is it? Don't be a sheep. So number 2 is deciding what areas of your life you would like to set goals for. So thinking about what do you want to improve or progress this year or in this next period. So I know I am very late on a goal setting. There's a bee. Oh, that may have even been a wasp. Better not have a nest here. I know that I am very late on the goal setting YouTube video wagon. I know it's very late February. However, main reason is because very early on in my YouTube journey, so it's my first, I guess you can say it's my first year of going through the process, but I was a bit late in writing down my goals, but yeah, being early in the YouTube journey just means that I had other videos that I wanted to put out first. I did write this one down a while ago now, ready to go through with you, but here we are, so it's completely fine. For me, there's four areas in life that I want to work on in 2025. So financial, horses, health and fitness, and YouTube channel. Because I'm having a bit of fun here. Number three is confirm you have goals to set against those titles. So it's all well and good you may want to improve in those areas. So for me, in those four areas, but do I actually have something to improve or progress? Again, it comes back to the setting goals with intent. Don't set goals for the sake of setting goals, knowing that it's unrealistic for you. So for me, how I then thought about that, so financial is related to mortgage, putting things in place to close a gap on my recent salary cut, to enable me to continue my dressage journey. So you can see you'll see through mine how they are somewhat intricately linked. Horses, I have goals related to Marty and Lacey, but also for Buddy for Mum. So you haven't met Buddy before. I haven't done a meet your horses yet, meet my horses video yet. that will come. I will get there. However, actually, since I went through and wrote this down, both Lacey and Buddy have had injuries, but they should come back at some point this year. Health and fitness goals, so it's not only related to my weight, as you can see, but also my core strength and my flexibility for my riding. Also, you can see the big bags under my eyes. I'm always feeling tired, so it's just hopefully getting some resolution on that, or at least putting some things in place that will help with that. And then YouTube, building my YouTube channel, because like I said, I'm having fun, but also to support my horse and my dressage goals, and to enable developing future career pathways by improving my speaking confidence, which I spoke about in my Why Did I Start YouTube video. Then we go on to number 4, which is the brainstorming of these themes. So I've already gone, these are the areas that I want to work on. I know I am wanting to set goals in these areas with intent, so I've got reasons for it. Now let's just brainstorm all of the things that I would like to set goals for the different areas, before we actually kind of cut that down into specific goals. So again, for me, so financial is paying as much extra off the mortgage as possible, and the goal will be around creating routines around that, or the intent of the goal is to create routines, because essentially you know, the more you can get paid off of your mortgage, the more you can get the monthly repayment commitments down, which then means more flexibility within the salary that I earn, and what I do with that, and then that can be used to build essentially retirement funds, you know, to put into investments that will potentially create passive income. Then also understanding the magnitude of the salary gap to close. So if you haven't watched my previous videos, my role has recently changed and I've dropped a couple of pay grades. I won't go into why here. And then once I understand that salary gap, is making appropriate changes to my share plan, which I've got through work. So I've currently got it on the maximum option. I may need to wind that back for a while. With regard to that, or in line with that, is establishing side hustles and understanding, you know, this again is reliant on waiting to see how much of a gap there is in my salary compared to my salary and my costs. I do have a full budget sheet that I keep track of. I update that weekly. I can go through that in a different video if you're interested. So yeah, this is actually the establishing side hustles to close a gap once a gap is known is actually quite important to me, because I am fairly certain this is one of the contributors to my current fatigue, because it has been using so much brain power lately, kind of planning for the unknown. So I have been working through a lot of different scenarios of what it may look like depending on how big the gap is between being able to cut costs or reduce costs or become more efficient with my spending, and the actual salary that I will receive. And then creating routines and habits to understand what I can still afford to do with the horses. So yeah, again, once I understand the gap, what are those things I can put in place to close the gap, whether it's costs down or earnings up, and then what is that going to allow me to continue to do, because I really do want to continue doing my dressage. We will obviously still train at home, but it will be the difference of whether we are able to have lessons and or compete. Then moving into the horses. So as I mentioned, Marty, Lacey and Buddy. So with Marty, it's attending a dressage competition at least once every 2 months I've got at this stage. I would like monthly, but it may have to be bi-monthly. Attend a lesson at least once a month. Start working equitation, so super excited and keen to give that a go if we have the capacity to do it. And with that, am keen to attend a working equitation event inside saddle. Would like to work towards achieving our bronze medal in elementary dressage this year. And the most important part is keeping him happy and healthy and sound. With Lacey, one goal, finish breaking, which means sit on her, walk, trot, canter. That seems like a low goal, but it's going to be time based, how much time we can get into her. Buddy, so get mum on at least at the walk. Mum really hasn't ridden for a number of years. Heal his leg, and part of that is getting him down to the beach to stand his leg in water, in the sea water, in the salt water. Yeah, I can go through what happened there in not this video, because I can already tell I'm gonna make this video really long. Health and fitness. So that this, you know, it's a bit like everyone. So brainstorming is losing weight, getting fitter, stretch and work for dressage, healthy eating, healthy sleeping. So I was getting into good habits. I feel like I'm not doing too bad at staying. Well, I'm kind of halfway between good and bad sleeping habits. You know, time that I get to sleep, what I'm doing before I go to sleep, those sort of things. So things to work on. Because you know, I'm finding a bit at the moment. I'm that tired that I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered going riding. And I know that is not the right answer, and it's not what I want to do, right? You know, we have big goals. And then the last part is YouTube. So building my community to get monetized, improve my speaking skills, improve my content creation skills. So trying to play around with bits and pieces in the videos. And I'm super keen to start doing interviews. When I think about building that confidence in speaking, how can I do that with these videos, is doing interviews. Yeah, it will be interesting to see whether I can enable developing partnerships with brands to get some really cool, nice stuff to wear in our videos. Because as you can see, like, I just wear whatever. And, you know, I know that I'm a bit of one of those people. As you can see, it is a very different part of the day than what it is in the first half of the video. Was recording about 8 o'clock this morning. I think it was even, 8:30 this morning. It is now nearly 9 o'clock at night here. However, I did really want to kind of try and finish this video off, at least finish off the videoing part of the video in the same day. I was hoping there would still be a little bit of daylight by the time I sat back down to be able to finish this video, because there is actually an excavator sitting like basically right there where my thumb is, behind me, but you can't see it now, obviously. Anyway, so let's continue with where we got up to. So part 5 of setting goals for 2025 is around creating SMART goals using the SMART guidelines. So SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, timely. So they need to be ones that are specific enough, so the scope of the goal is narrow enough that you can measure it, and it's a goal that you have a way of measuring whether you successfully achieved it or you didn't achieve it. And that's the same as achievable and realistic. Is no point having a goal that the scope is so broad that it's really hard to actually measure whether you achieved it or not. And then timely is, whoa, my hand is filthy, obviously from the chair or something. Anyway, timely, I won't be showing you that again. But timely, you can see the end date. So there's an end date defined as to when, you can say whether you achieved the goal or not. And I mean, I guess understanding through the year or the period that you set for the goal, you can come back and adjust your goals if you need. There's no reason why you can't do that, whether you are actually overachieving what you expected and you want to reassess that, or there has been, for some reason, a delay. You may injure yourself. If it's something to do with horses, the horses may injure themselves, and then if you've got goals related to financials, having an injury meaning you can't work, it may affect that. So there's no reason why you can't come back and have a look at them. And also what I prefer is a maximum of 3 goals per theme. So like remembering I've got the 4 themes, so I don't particularly want more than 3 goals for each of those. The only one where I kind of break that is with Marty, so I've got 4 goals rather than the 3. However, one of those goals I have pretty much already achieved. Doesn't matter, it's in there, it's still in there as a milestone, and I want it in there as a milestone. So to quickly go through the goals that I've looked at setting for myself for the year. So with regard to financial, so pay an additional $4,904 off my mortgage by the end of 2025. So the reason I've gone with a specific value like that is I didn't want to just set some arbitrary number and going, yep, that's what I'm going to aim for. See my kitty in the background there? He's waiting for me to go inside and sit on the lounge so he can sit at my feet. But what that is a current 1 month's interest rate charges for my mortgage. And yeah, so that's what I'm aiming for. I would much rather be aiming for a lot more than that as additional payments off the mortgage. However, I need to understand that I'm currently not in steady state when it comes to finances because I've got the salary changes coming up, which I don't fully understand yet. So still waiting to understand that, which may at that point when I do fully understand what's going to be changing, I may come back and be able to adjust my goal there accordingly. So the second one is updating my personal budget worksheet with actual costs, a minimum of fortnightly to track and adjust spending for the remainder of the month to ensure spending is less than earnings. So again, and this is going to be particularly important as I get that first changed salary in, and probably continue at fortnightly or so for a few months, or at least a quarter, to get a good feel on it, so I can understand whether I need to make adjustments, and I can make adjustments early and quickly. And then the third one with regard to finances is to determine exact cost versus earnings gap post-salary change, and develop a detailed side hustle plan to close the gap, including budget changes. So is there any further costs that I can either reduce or remove? Extra earning activities that I can pursue. And so these are in regard to things that are already there and available. So like Airbnb and adjustment. So how can I leverage that more? And then how can I make my money work more efficiently for me? So ways to reduce taxable income and understand the impact of additional monthly mortgage payments. And then, the impact of that, how much more quickly can I get that mortgage paid down? Then on to horses. So with Marty, I've got 4 goals for him. So 1 side saddle related. So attend 1 demo. Attend 1 Marion Riding Club event and attend 1 dressage by the end of the year in side saddle. For dressage, it's qualify for the state champs in novice and elementary by the closing date, which is in September, which seems, like I said, this one I think I have already actually achieved. I just need to check the percentages. And it seems like such a simple one, but again, kind of reliant on how much I'm actually going to be able to compete this year. I'm not sure. Another one in dressage is achieve 1 bronze medal score in elementary. So for us here in Australia or in South Australia, so Dressage SA, the discipline committee, they have a medal scoring system where there are, at each dressage level, there's a bronze, silver and gold level percentage score, and the intent of that is you have within a 2-year period, if you achieve that level percentage score for 3 tests, so 3 times, you can submit your application and you receive a bronze, silver or gold medal, what do you call them, thing you can put on your jacket. So yeah, because we've just started elementary this year and know it's going to take some time for us we're still working on strength, balance, suppleness, and impulsion. Impulsion's a big thing for us to move up the levels. That's why I've put achieve 1 bronze medal score. We have so far literally done 1 elementary test, so don't expect to get it in the first test that we do. And then the last one with Marty is working equitation. So really keen to give working equitation a go. And they have, so the Marion Riding Club, they have a tri-series competition through the year. So our goal is to compete in that tri-series. So that will be 3 competitions. And yeah, like I said, hopefully one of those will be in side saddle, which would be super cool. Like Lacey, so the 3 goals there. So first, sit on and walk in round yard by the end of the financial year, so June 30th, 2025, remembering she's now just hurt herself, so that's why I've allowed us plenty of time. First ride outside of the round yard by October 1st, so just to give us plenty of time. Again, it's going to be dependent on how much capacity I have and time that I have to be able to spend with her as to how quickly we're going to be able to move towards that. And then first off-property ride by the end of 2025. With Buddy, so recovery to soundness by April 1st, 2025. So he's basically... I might actually do a video showing the injury that he's had on his back leg, but he basically stripped his back leg. It is at the point where where mum's leaving the bandage off for a few days at a time, generally putting the bandage back on after a few days just to clean it out and cover it again. But it's kind of at the point where we're hoping this weekend to take him down to the beach and stand him in the seawater to help with the recovery there. And so recovery to soundness is basically, my expectation is the point at which we can sit back on him, whether it's just sit on him or a walk, but where basically he's sound enough for someone to sit on him. Mum's first sit on Buddy by June 30th this year, and then her first beach ride by the end of the year. With health and fitness, so I've been quite specific with this. So my starting weight is 72.2 kilo. My goal is to achieve 68 kilo by June 30th, and maintain that weight for the remainder of the year, which sounds simple and is only 4 kilo. I know that. However, I am finding that so difficult at the moment, and I've tried a few different things, and I'm not actually sure what to try and do next, but I will keep working on it. And the other part for health and fitness is an average of 7 hours sleep every week. Yeah, average 7 hours sleep a night every week, an average bedtime of 10:30 and at night every week to support weight loss and reduce fatigue. So yeah, kind of really the first step in working on my fatigue, other than thinking about what are those stress factors, is there any there that I can remove. I think somewhat it will help, once I'm in a bit more of a steady state. But the first step really is to get those good sleeping habits, which I somewhat I almost have, but I don't completely. So I need to get better at that. I do take a magnesium powdered drink each night before I go to bed to try and help. I find it doesn't so much help me get to sleep, but it helps me stay asleep. And then the last section there is YouTube. So commit to post at least one video per week all year. I am generally doing that. However, I am finding my videos are taking up to 3-4 days to actually publish. I'm not really sure why. I haven't seen any feedback. They're not coming back with copyright issues. So I'm not sure. So I'm trying to stick to that one a week. And what I would like to do is I'd like to post either a Tuesday or a Friday. That's what I'm finding is working for me, is a Tuesday or a Friday. But again, like this week, I posted one on Monday night and it got published on Thursday night. So yeah, anyway, after I'd gone to bed, by the way. So basically build my community, my YouTube community, build my channel, film interesting content that will allow me to build my channel to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours by the end of 2025 for obvious reasons, which is probably a good point at which I go, please do like and subscribe and leave a comment if you find this content interesting. And please do let me know if there is anything else you would be interested in seeing or hearing about. And then receive contact from at least one equine related brand interested in partnering by the end of 2025. So that's the goals. So that feels like there's a lot of goals there, but they're quite, like if you listen to them, a lot of them is quite intertwined, particularly like the fatigue and the weight loss directly related to achieving with Marty. Marty, the side saddle is linked into the working equitation and the dressage. And then the financial is everything. Like the financial enables being able to do all of this other stuff, right? And then the last part of it is probably not one so much that I will go into with my goals, because I've been setting goals for a number of years now. I'm quite comfortable with when I set them, I understand what I need to do. However, what I have put down as point 6 is creating a detailed strategy plan to achieve each of the goals. And, as I mentioned, some of these plans may cross over more than one goal. So being able to achieve the higher scores in elementary is going to be firstly reliant on being financially stable, but also reliant on me being able to achieve my health and fitness goals. But then linked to that is building my YouTube channel is also potentially going to enable all of that, but also give me more of a reason, a motivation to be able to do more of it. And then, another example of that strategy is, so for example, again, back to Marty and dressage and achieving that bronze medal score in elementary. Part of that is continuing to build his strength and suppleness and balance. And so what I would potentially incorporate into the strategy there is thinking about what is the weekly plan going to be for our training. So thinking about maybe a session a week of groundwork, in hand, poles. When are we going to be doing massage to ensure that we've got adequate body care there. Make sure he's happy and healthy. This may include like what sort of variety are we going to put into our training. So beach rides, forest rides, aiming for those monthly lessons, and aiming for at least one away competition in the year as well to allow for more exposure, because it's all well and great going to our local dressage clubs, and I've got 2 local dressage clubs that I normally go to, so Southern Vales at Aldinga and Adelaide Hills at Strathalbyn. all well and great, but it means he's always just seeing the same environment. So if we get further up in the levels, and we actually go, we would like to go some of the bigger comps that may be in indoor arenas and the like, we haven't had that practice or exposure. So it's really just, yeah, looking at those opportunities to be able to get away, but still meeting life's needs and being able to afford it. Which I'm sure everyone understands those challenges, right? So that is kind of my breakdown of setting goals in 2025, what my goals look like in 2025, and just showing the fact that they can cross over a number of different areas in your life, depending on what you want to work on, depending on what you want to progress in the year. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this content. I hope you've been able to take something away from the content. If you would like, if there's anything in there that you would like me to go into more detail, please do let me know. Please do comment. Also, you'll see the links to my other socials in the description. And you can contact me directly. Have a look at the description. And one final reminder, like and subscribe. I think if I've done it right, I've now got a thumbnail down in the bottom corner of the video. So give it a go. Yeah, super keen to hear from you. And I do hope that you are finding some interest in the content that I am providing. And have a great night, morning, afternoon, and we will see you soon.